Helen Levi says her daughter's ex-boyfriend, Dion Burdett, crashed 2 of her cars. Helen says on the second occasion, Dion was driving drunk.
What's your first name?
Jennifer?
Jennifer, this used to be your boyfriend?
Yes.
Your mother's complaint is that on 2 separate occasions involving 2 separate cars that she bought for you, you allowed Mr. Wonderful over here to drive the cars and he totaled them.
Yes.
The first incident, there was insurance. There was a $500 deductible. Second instance, she bought you another car. You again allowed, what's your first name?
Dion.
Dion, to drive the car because you don't learn from your mistakes. And he totaled the second car.
Yes.
Then you decided you had enough.
Yes, that's correct.
When was the first accident, Dion?
January 26th.
Tell me about that.
I asked her to leave me the car in case I
Were you
needed to
living
go.
together?
Yes.
How long had you been living together?
Approximately 6 months.
You asked her to leave you the car. Why?
In case I needed to go somewhere because I didn't have insurance on my vehicle at the time.
Where was she going?
She was going to school.
And what were you doing that day?
I just sat at home all day until I went to pick her up and had an accident.
Was that a weekday?
Yes.
Well, were you going to school at the time?
No, I wasn't.
Were you working at the time?
No, I wasn't.
Why not?
I'm not really sure, Your Honor.
Well, how long was it that you weren't working, Dion?
Approximately 3 months.
Who was supporting you? Get her a copy of that book, Beauty Fades, Dumb is Forever. You were supporting him?
I wasn't really supporting him. My parents were helping me pay the rent. I was just helping him out.
So your parents were supporting him?
They were.
News to me.
See what you find out? What do you do for a living?
I'm a housewife.
And your husband?
He's an investment representative.
So he works?
Yes, he does. Very hard.
How long have you been married?
22 years.
In the 22 years that you've been married, how many months has your husband been out of work?
None.
Never.
Never.
Right? Never. How old are you?
22 years old, Your Honor.
Before you moved in with Jennifer, where were you living?
At my parents' house, Your Honor.
What does your father do?
He is an airplane mechanic at O'Hare Airport in Chicago.
Do you ever remember a time when your father sat around eating bonbons for 3 months and not working?
No, I don't, Your Honor.
Why do you think that is, Dion?
Because he has children to pay for, Your Honor.
Because he likes to eat.
Yeah.
And he doesn't like to live in the street.
No.
Now, when you left your parents' house, were you working?
Yes, I was.
Where were you working?
Cub Foods.
Doing what?
I was in the meat department, cashier, dairy
What happened to
stocker.
that job?
I lost it
Why?
due to too many absences.
Why were you absent?
I was sick, road conditions, stuff like that happens.
What was wrong with you?
I had the flu. I mean,
For 3 months?
no, not for 3 months, but I mean, I was out of work for 3 months.
All right, now let's get to the first accident, Dion, because I've tortured you about your responsibility in growing up long enough, because even I'm getting bored with it. I don't know if I'm getting through to you, sir. If you want to be a grown-up and live out on your own, you have to work. 22 years old, still not fully cooked probably, but that doesn't mean you live off the kindness of strangers. She's a stranger to you. She has her own children, and if she's supporting her daughter, and if her husband is supporting her daughter, they don't have to support you too.
That's true.
Thank you. So you asked her to leave you the car just in case she wanted to go looking for a job that day.
True.
I almost forgot how entertaining this could be. Sort of forgot how dumb people can be. All right, so you kept the car so you could go and look for a job, but you didn't go and look for a job. Where did you go, Dion?
I didn't go anywhere.
You mean the car had an accident in the house?
Like
How
I
did
said,
that happen? Explain that to Officer Byrd. He would really like to hear that.
I was on my way to pick her up from school, Your Honor.
Had you gone anywhere else that day?
No, I
You
haven't.
just stayed home and watched Oprah?
Yeah, I guess. That's what you say.
No, you tell me what you did.
Oh, well, I didn't watch Oprah, but
What
I
did you watch?
TV.
You watched me.
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. Like I said,
You would have watched me more frequently, Dion, you would never be here today. Never.
That's true.
Happened.
That's true. That's true.
Okay, so you went to pick her up from school, and what happened?
I was at a four-way stop. I stopped at the stop sign, looked both ways, looked forward. Nobody was going, so I started going. Here comes a car. Bam. Took off the front end, airbags, everything.
Okay, so this car came out of nowhere.
Well, it was sitting at the stoplight, at a stop sign, when I looked left, and it wasn't going, so I just barely tapped on the gas, just started going, and then here comes this Mustang out of nowhere.
The plaintiff says you got a ticket for failing to yield.
True.
So then I guess the accident was your
No.
Did you pay the ticket?
No, I didn't.
Did you have a trial?
Yes.
Were you found guilty or not guilty?
I didn't go.
Well, if you didn't go, then you were found guilty.
No, I wasn't, because they still got the insurance money.
We're not talking about insurance money, we're talking about ticket. You got a ticket for failure to yield. My question is a very simple one, Dion. You have to pay attention. I know you've been resting your brain for a long time, so you should be able to pay attention to what I'm saying to you. Ticket. Did you pay the ticket?
No, I didn't pay the ticket.
Was the ticket dismissed?
Yes.
Was it dismissed after a hearing?
I'm not sure.
Oh, I don't even want to go there anymore. When? All right. So that's the first accident. And that car was totaled. You had a $500 deductible.
Correct.
When your daughter called you and told you that the boyfriend had totaled the car, what did you say to her?
I didn't know the boyfriend had totaled the car right at first. It was some time before I found all the facts.
She told you she had totaled the car?
She said it had been wrecked.
How did she tell you it had been wrecked?
It went through a stop
It went through a
intersection. The road conditions were icy, had a lot of ice on the road.
Who did she tell you was driving?
I finally dragged it out of her that he had been driving.
Did you lie to your mother, Jennifer?
I had just told her that I was the one who got in the wreck because I didn't want to have to,
Deal with...
yeah, I didn't want to deal with the whole...
All right, now that was January 26th. And then you said, okay, I'm going to get her another car because she needs a car to go to school.
Right.
How much money does your husband make?
Not enough to be buying her a car every year or two because he wrecked it.
Now, when did you wreck this second car, Dion?
On or about May 20th.
Tell me about that.
I had dropped Jennifer off at approximately 10 o'clock p.m.
Where?
at her friend's house. Told her specifically
Was this a Saturday or a Sunday?
Saturday.
Where were you working then?
I was, believe,
That's not so long ago, sir. Where are you working now?
painting.
Portraits? Houses?
No,
What?
houses.
Houses. You're going to have to stop paying me if you enjoy this job so much. When did you start painting houses?
3 months ago?
So that would bring you into June. Now, so in May, were you working?
No, I wasn't. I was in search of a job due to previous legal problems.
What kind of legal problems?
Truthfully,
No, I want you to lie to me.
I mean, I can if you want me to. I'm not going to,
Don't
though.
be a wise guy, sir. I will grind you into the carpet. Go ahead.
I got a felony and
For
about
what?
distributing marijuana, 1 ounce, 10 to 30
Oh,
grams.
that's what you were doing. Now I understand. In between painting and meatpacking, you were distributing marijuana.
No, I did a favor for somebody that I thought was a friend and obviously wasn't, and told on me, and I got in trouble for it.
So it was
the
somebody
middleman.
else's fault.
No, it wasn't anybody else's fault but my own for trusting somebody else.
So you were doing a favor for somebody you weren't going to get paid for it.
Right.
You weren't going to get a piece of the action
No.
for it. At least if you were selling it and making some money, I could understand that. You're a real idiot. All right. So now you're looking for a job. And in May, you drop her off at a friend's house and told her...
Specifically that I was going to a local bar and I have a few drinks and I'd be home early. Turns out I had a few too many and got a DUI. I blew up .242, had a fatal accident, could have ended my life. Life-changing experience.
Just a second. Wasn't fatal.
No, it wasn't fatal. I mean,
You have
it
to
could have
watch
been.
your words with
Right.
me. You have to watch your words.
Sorry.
You didn't kill
Let me read
anybody.
it. No, I didn't kill anybody, but it could have easily happened. I ran into a pole going 70 miles an hour.
So why aren't you responsible for the car, sir?
She willingly gave me the car knowing I was going to the bar. I didn't pressure her. I didn't put a gun to her head and say, give me the car. She said, okay, be back early. And I mean, I accept full
You wanna do it?
responsibility for drinking and
That's
driving.
okay, because I'm going to enjoy this. Just go ahead and do your thing.
So your defense is that it was not your fault that you were given the car because she should have said, you can't take the car if you're going to drink. Leave the car here and go, take a bus to go to the bar.
I accept full responsibility for drinking and driving. I'm paying for it dearly. I have the papers right here to prove it.
How are you paying for it?
I have 100 hours community service. I have $1,900 in fines, and I lose my license for a year or maybe more.
Well, how does that help Miss Levi?
I've given
You-
Jennifer $600 already.
You've given her 6, is that right?
That's correct.
Okay. So you accept responsibility for this accident. It's not Jennifer's fault.
No.
Jennifer is stupid.
It's not Jennifer.
Jennifer's going to read the book, cover to cover, backwards and forwards. Don't hook yourself up with a loser. If you hook yourself up with a loser, you're a loser. What kind of school are you going to?
At the moment, I'm just working full-time. I'm trying to save money so I can go back to school.
if you're going to school and moving forward and your family is trying to help you get there, you don't hook up with a loser who's unemployed. You don't hook up with was he arrested for this distributing marijuana while he was living with you?
No, that was way before I met him.
But you knew about it.
I did find out about it eventually.
Well, it seems to me Dion kept a lot of things from you. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $3,400. Thank you. That's all.
Shauna Ross is suing her cousin, 21-year-old Pauline Ross, for the value of a state-issued check. Shauna claims Pauline kept money that was intended for her.
Miss Ross, the defendant is your cousin. According to what I've read in your complaint, she had some trouble with Child Protective Services. And there came a time that you agreed to watch her children in exchange for a state check for watching her children.
Yes.
You watched the children. She got the state checks, 2 of them, according to you.
Yes.
She cashed them both and did not give you any money. Ms. Ross says that you only watched the children a little bit. Her boyfriend watched them more than you did. So she kept the money, and she's got some countersuit about you calling Child Protective Services and making some false allegations about her after all this went down. What's your first name?
Pauline.
Pauline, how many children do you have?
3.
You're expecting another one?
Yes.
How old are you?
21.
You have enough children, Pauline.
Yes.
Did anybody ever tell you that?
Yes.
Who else told you that?
Everybody.
So add my voice to the rest of the pack. You have enough children, there are other things to do in your spare time. How old are your children?
They're
You have to think about this?
No, 1, 2, and 3.
And who's the father of your 1-year-old?
Dion.
And who's the father of your 2-year-old?
I don't know.
And who's the father of your 3-year-old?
Dion.
And who's the father of this one that you're going to have now?
His name is Nick.
And how long have you been with Nick?
9 months.
Shh. Now, when your cousin was watching your children, who was your boyfriend then? Dion or Nick?
Nick.
When did your cousin watch your children?
She started April the 2nd when I started my job.
What kind of job did you have?
Waitressing.
Now, who filed the papers for your cousin to get the state check?
We both did.
And when you filed the papers, you said you were working, correct?
Right.
And you were receiving welfare.
Yes.
So they said, well, maybe they can cut some of this welfare money by giving you money to pay a babysitter to get you back in the job force, which
Yes.
will hopefully keep you out of the baby producing business. How much did you receive in checks? Because the checks came to you, right?
Right.
How much was the first check?
The first one was $768.
And what did you do with that check?
I moved into my house.
So you used the money for yourself.
Right.
And how much was the second check?
$384.
And that was a babysitting check.
Yes, it was.
Well, Miss Ross, you don't get paid for babysitting for your own children.
No.
And Nick doesn't get paid for babysitting for your children because he hadn't filled out the papers.
Right.
So who do you think was he?
Her, but not her, because she wasn't watching the kids like she was supposed to. And then April 12th, I got laid off. They cut my hours due to complications of my pregnancy.
Yeah. So
But she
how
was
many
still
hours
in-
did you in fact work?
20 hours per week.
How
After
many
the
weeks
12th.
did you work?
3 weeks.
3
No,
weeks?
3 weeks full time, and then they took me off.
So were you telling me, what state do you come from?
Michigan.
The state of Michigan gave you $1,152 for 3 weeks worth of babysitting?
No, no. You
Well,
don't
you got the
understand.
2 checks just for babysitting money.
Right, ma'am, she was calling in hours that she
But
wasn't watching the kids.
Just a second. I understand that, but you have to sign off on it.
I
Let
called
Miss
my-
Ross, Pauline,
Yes.
you have to sign off on it. This is yet just another scam. If you don't think that I understand that this was just another scam,
I have
do.
the paper saying that I called and said my hours were reduced. It's right here from the caseworker.
Somebody had to sign off before you got the check because the forms, she fills out the hours, but you have to sign off on it that she did in fact work those hours. Isn't that the way it works in Michigan?
Yes. Your
Of
Honor.
course. Works that way all over. Right? Otherwise, any babysitter could file and say, I worked 20 hours this week, unless the other person for whom she is allegedly working
Can I-
signs off on it. So if you people don't think that I understand that this is just
Can I-
another scam on the state, you're wrong. I got it. You worked 3 weeks and got checks for $1,152. You know what I'm doing with this case?
Can I-
I'm sending a tape of it to the state of Michigan so they can come after you and take the money out of your welfare money. This was a good scam that the 2 of you cousins cooked up together.
No.
Because there is no way that I believe.
I didn't say I got paid for 3 weeks. I was working full-time for 3 weeks. I called the caseworker. Here's the paper, the document showing when I called, to say that my hours were reduced to 20 hours per week. So therefore, she supposed to have cut down the maximum hours which she supposed to call in.
Miss Ross, you are not entitled to keep that check.
I know that.
Just a second. So why did you keep it?
Because she wasn't babysitting the whole time.
You don't get it. Why don't you just send the money back to them? You don't move into your apartment with it, madam. You don't take care of your expenses with it. That's not what the money is for. That's what welfare is for. That's what Dion is for.
Well, Dion don't help.
Well, that's your problem. That's not Michigan's problem. You can't keep this money. You get welfare. The fact that you don't like how much you get doesn't mean that you can scam the state out of another $1,100.
I didn't scam. I paid the person that was watching the kids.
Yeah, show me.
Me and Nicholas.
Show me. I want to see the person who was watching the kids.
Me and Nicholas spent the money together and I paid Lakeisha.
Listen to me. Lakeisha wasn't authorized by the state to watch your children. Neither was Nick. And you don't get paid for watching your own children. Madam, if you think that I'm going to give you $1,152, you are out of your mind. What the state should do is, and I'm going to send them a copy of the tape, is go against her welfare checks to redeem $1,152. And then let them decide where the $1,152 is going to go. That's what the state of Michigan ought to do. So they have to get the money back, and then they're going to give it to you. Thank you very much. That's all. Goodbye.
James Herring says his ex-girlfriend's boyfriend, John Chavez, owes for a loan to bail him out of jail. John says it's James's fault he was arrested in the first place.
Oh, that's interesting. Mr. Herring, you and Mr. Chavez share a girlfriend. Not at the same time.
No.
She was your girlfriend, then she was Mr. Chavez's girlfriend, then briefly she was your girlfriend, now she's back with Mr. Chavez, and if my reading of these documents is correct, this would be the lovely Jennifer. And according to your complaint, despite the fact that you had not been together, according to you now, for a year and a half, you had some mail for her.
Yes, ma'am.
So you took her to her house.
Yes, Your Honor.
And when you got to her house, there was a confrontation with Mr. Chavez. And according to you, Mr. Chavez was arrested.
Yes, Your Honor.
You bailed him out of jail.
Yes, Your Honor.
Even though he assaulted you.
Yes, Your Honor.
On his promise to pay you back the bail money, which he has not done.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chavez says you felt terribly guilty about what happened. You came, bailed him out of jail. There was never any promise to pay you back. All very peculiar. Mr. Herring, did you know Mr. Chavez before this incident?
I met him through Miss Jennifer Berger, but I have not known him prior to her relationship with him.
When did you and Miss Berger terminate your relationship?
January 2006, maybe somewhere in that area.
Is that right, Miss Berger?
No.
When was it?
It's over 2 years. I've been with Don for over 2 years, so.
No, don't look at him. Look at me.
I've been with Don for over 2 years, so it has to be.
Okay. You lived together?
Yes, we lived together at one time.
How long did you live together?
About 2.5 years.
What kind of work do you do, Mr. Herring?
I'm a stockbroker, venture capitalist.
What kind of work do you do, Mr. Chavez?
Hardwood floors.
What kind of work does the lovely Jennifer do?
She doesn't.
She doesn't do any kind of work.
Well, she doesn't have a job.
She's a full-time job.
Yes, very much so.
Now, you last lived together with Jennifer 2 years ago.
We still share a residence occasionally.
What does that mean, sir?
Basically, she still has a lot of her things at my house. However, she does see Mr. Chavez from time to time, and she goes over there and spends some time, and then for whatever reason, then she comes back and stays at my house. We've become very good, close friends, and so she always has a place to stay in the event that she needs a place.
But you said you didn't talk in 2 years. Stand up.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I said we haven't been together for over 2 years.
No, you said you hadn't talked in 2 years.
I didn't say talked.
What?
I didn't say talked. Misunderstanding.
You said you haven't been together.
Right.
In 2 years.
But during the 2 years, I've been over the house. I'm mostly with John.
Mostly with your boyfriend. Now, you live together as a boyfriend and girlfriend?
It's been on and off-ish.
What is your legal residence?
With Jim.
Mr. Herring.
Yeah.
You are three of the weirdest people that I've come in contact with. It's very, very long time.
It gets weirder.
It's ridiculous.
The whole thing is ridiculous
Well,
unless there's
absolutely.
something that I'm not seeing here.
Absolutely ridiculous.
All right, miss, when did this incident happen? When you went over to take Jennifer, the lovely Jennifer, some mail, according to you, that had come to the house?
I don't know the exact date. You're on the 7th or the 6th of March.
Of what year?
Of this year.
Go ahead.
And then I bailed him out on the 10th of March.
Well, what happened when you went over there?
Well, when I went over to give her her mail, I called her and let her know I was coming by. She had a driver's license, her registration to her car, etc. She'd been gone for about 4 or 5 days. So I went over and I knocked at his door, and she answered the door. She came out, and I gave her her mail. I said, I'm going to be leaving. I don't want any confrontations with Mr. Chavez.
Why should you have any confrontation with him?
Because I've had him in the past.
Go ahead.
And so I started to walk away, and she came out and talked with me for a minute, and then he came out and got right in my face and started to assault me. And at that time, I turned around and I told him that I was going to call the police. I went out to my car and I called 911. The police came. They talked to me for a few minutes. Then they went down and talked to Mr. Chavez. And apparently the conversation was that they could decipher who started the fight, so to speak. They didn't press any charges against him or me. However, he did have a warrant out for him, an outstanding traffic warrant for $25,000 warrant.
$25,000 warrant for not registering his car?
No, I don't know what it was, ma'am. I think it was a headlight or something, but it was a $25,000.
You must have really ticked off a judge, Mr. Chavez.
So they arrested him.
I'm speaking.
Yes, so they arrested
I'm speaking.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chavez, you must have really ticked off a judge to put $25,000 bail on you for a broken headlight.
It was for no registration on the vehicle, driving without a driver's license in possession, and no proof of insurance.
And when did you receive this violation?
2004. But I was working for a guy that owned a car lot, and I was driving one of his vehicles back to the lot and got pulled over, and from the understanding that his dealer plates were not currently...
What does dealer plates have to do with your not having a driver's license?
Well, I just didn't have it in my possession.
Mr. Chavez, I've been in the justice system. How old are you?
I'm 42.
Not quite as long as you've been on this earth. But a $25,000 bail on what amounts to nothing more than driving without registration for the car doesn't sound kosher to me, Mr. Chavez. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh, no, I understand what you're saying, but it was because the dealer plates that were on the vehicle, and the dealer plates were supposedly not up to current registration. So...
Yes. Oh, so they took him into custody.
Yes, ma'am.
And tell me how it came about that you went and bailed him out, Mr. Herring.
I just, for whatever reason, decided to go down to the LA County Jail to talk to him. I wanted to find out why he had such animosity towards me.
You mean you wanted to find out that question? I can tell you the answer to that question in a second. The lovely Jennifer.
Yes, well, yes, ma'am. But I wanted to find out for myself why there was just such anger and so on and so forth, because I did not have any anger towards Mr. Chavez at all. If Jennifer wanted to see John or be with him, I had no problem with it.
You may not, but he does.
Yeah, apparently. So I went in there and I talked with him, and
You live in Los Angeles, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. It's all very strange here. Go ahead.
So I was visiting with him, and he'd been in for 2 or 3 days at that point in time.
2 or 3 days on a traffic infraction.
He pleaded with me and begged with me. He even started to sob. He begged me to post bail for him because of his daughter. He also promised at that time that if I bailed him out, he would most definitely pay me back.
Go ahead, Mr. Chavez, let me hear.
That's all untrue. You know, I'm not scared of saying that I cry, but I'm not going to be crying to him. All right, that's first off. Second off,
but just tell me what happened.
When he came to visit me, he wanted to know why there was such animosity and what he could do to not have the animosity between us anymore. And I said, well, you don't want no animosity? Bail me out. He bailed me out, and that was it.
And when, for the first time, did he ask you for this money back?
Actually, he asked Jennifer to give me a letter, but she never gave it to me.
Why? Why didn't you give it?
I said I wouldn't. I didn't receive it from him.
Your Honor?
He asked me to give him some papers, but I didn't want to get involved. I said, this is between the two of you. You deal with it. I'm out of it. I wasn't going to serve. It was, I think, to serve him.
When was your next court date?
March 12th.
And what date did he bail you out? Do you recall? Do you recall, sir?
March 10th.
March 10th.
And you had already been there for 5 days.
Yes, ma'am.
Had you been in jail before, Mr. Chavez?
Yes, ma'am.
Same jail?
Yes, ma'am.
For how long?
30 days.
And did you do the 30 days?
Yes, ma'am.
So, doing 5 days must have been easy.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Herring,
Yes, ma'am.
I don't believe he promised to pay you back. I believe him. I believe him when he says that you said to him, what can I do to make this right? And he said to you, bail me out, and you did. Because I don't understand why, if the lovely Miss Jennifer had gotten her license and a registration for her car, you drive a car? Huh?
License is suspended.
For what reason?
For driving under suspended license.
Your license is suspended for driving on a suspended license.
DUIs. And DUIs. Combination of the
Listen, you
two.
people are all too confusing and I'm much too old.
That's
Mr.
3
Herring,
DUIs and
Mr.
4.
Herring, you can't have it both ways, sir. If Jennifer, and she's clearly with Mr. Chavez, I suggest that you cut all ties with her. I don't know what Miss Jennifer is doing for you that allows you to believe that someone who is living with somebody yet has an avenue to come back to live with you, you know, as sort of a safe haven. You're a safe house. This whole thing is very, very bizarre. And your visit to the jail is even more bizarre. And the fact that you fronted money for his bail is even more bizarre. And I'm a very easygoing, you know, meat and potatoes Brooklyn girl. I don't get all this mishigas. Your case is dismissed, Mr. Herring. That's all.
Kenny Loud says neighbors Keith and Tammy Cavanis owe for the return of 2 dirt bikes. The defendants are countersuing for harassment and defamation of character.
Miss Loud, you and the defendant were neighbors. You purchased 2 dirt bikes at some point, and then according to your complaint, you and your husband separated. You couldn't maintain the payments on the bikes, so you sold them to your neighbors.
Yes, ma'am.
And they acknowledged that you did in fact sell them to them, and the price for the 2 bikes was, I believe, $1,800. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
You made only $300 worth of payments, is that right?
Yes,
3
ma'am.
payments of $100 each.
Yes, ma'am.
And your last payment was in February.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
She wants her money. Do you have a defense?
We attempted to make the payment, and she refused it.
Show me.
Here's the return. That's the receipt for the money, or the certified letter, and that's where they refused it and sent it back. We called her.
March 23rd. When was your payment due?
On the 15th.
Of
We
what?
called her on March 15th. So she sent us a text on March 14th, and we had gone out of town and we had forgotten about it, so we called her and told her we were out of town and asked if it would be okay if we paid it on the 20th when we returned, and if not, my nephew had access to our funds and he could bring it down to her right then because it's only a few houses down, and she said, no, it's okay, wait when you return on the 20th, and then she went on, started talking about other issues.
Your Honor.
So-
Go ahead.
Okay, and when they were out of town, they did not call me. I called them on Sunday. And
Sunday, what day?
Sunday was March 15th, I believe. And they told me at that point that they were out of town and that their nephew could pay me the money. I had talked to their nephew during the week. He did not mention anything about the money, and neither did I, because in February...
Why didn't you pick this up? Did you get this certified
I wasn't
mail?
at home. I had somebody staying with me due to the threats that he had said to me
Just a second.
when I went to collect the money March 20th.
Hold on. I don't understand this. This is addressed to you. This is addressed to you. This
I may have
envelope
brought the wrong-
and this name is addressed to you.
I'm sorry, if the receipt that
Don't show me the receipt. That you filled out.
I brought the wrong envelope.
That you filled out, madam. This is addressed to you.
I know, I'm sorry, Your Honor, I brought the wrong envelope.
Well, that's not my
I
problem.
know it. I messed up. But
It's very messed up. It's very messed
the
up.
thing is, she
This
came
is
to our
useless.
house and she refused on the 20th
It
when we
doesn't make any
returned, and she
difference.
refused.
Oh, you have no defense for not paying up for the bikes. What's your defense?
The defense that she came to our house on the 20th. When we returned, we told her we were going to pay on the 20th. She was not home. She showed up at our home intoxicated, demanded the dirt bikes back. And we said, no, Kenny, you said that it would be okay when we returned on the 20th that we'd pay you. He was there. He was a witness and saw
I
that
want
she
to know
refused.
today, as you stand here, what your defense is. Right now, you have the 2 dirt bikes.
We had the cash to give to her. We tried to give it
Right
to her. She
now,
refused
you
it.
have the 2 dirt bikes.
The deal was that I lost a job, so we did not have to pay on the 15th. The deal was that we
The
could
contract
pay.
does say the 15th, but she said she'd work with us.
We
And
work with it.
I want to know, you're standing here today, what is your defense for not paying her for the merchandise that you have?
that she would not take the payment when we tried to
Well,
take
what
it
do
to
you
her.
think she's doing here? To check out my makeup?
She wanted the bikes. She wanted the bikes back.
She wanted the
Her
bikes back.
ex-husband returned, and he wanted the bikes back.
Nope.
She told
Nope.
us
I
in
didn't-
February
I
he
don't-
wanted the bikes
Hey,
back.
I mean, thick. Are you people just thick?
We offered her the payment on the 15th.
What defense do you have today for keeping the bikes and not paying for them? The fact that you're annoyed?
We attempted. We had the money. We want to pay him. We want to pay her. We wanted to pay it.
Oh, so
And
you
she
want to
refused
finish?
it. Yes, we
That's
wanted
what-
to make every payment on time. We wanted to make the payments early.
Fine, well, you didn't make your payment on time. All right, so right now they owe you $1,500 on the dirt bikes.
On the
Now,
dirt
just
bikes?
what?
On the dirt bikes, I want the return of the dirt bikes. I don't want the money. I want the dirt bikes because
That's not the deal. You're getting your $1,500 back. I don't care what you want. You made the deal. Now, you have some other repossession fees. I want you to show me where you paid a bill for repossessing the dirt bikes.
I have not paid anything yet.
Good, then you don't get
I have
that.
an invoice.
Then you don't get it.
Even with the invoice saying, because I still
No.
have to pay it.
No, I don't want it. But I'm curious, when did you hire somebody to repossess the bikes?
I think it was around April 9th.
Do you have that on the invoice?
I don't know. I think the invoice is just dated the day that they sent it to me. June 1st is the date of it.
No, not interested. Take it, throw it in the garbage. They didn't get the property.
But I still have to pay the money.
That's your problem, if you're going to pay the money, and I don't think you are. So far, they owe you $1,500. Now, you want to get to the last part of your lawsuit, which is defamation of character.
Yes, ma'am. I was the assistant leader in a Girl Scout troop. She was the leader, and both of our daughters were in it. And on Friday, March 20th is when I went over there to get the dirt bikes. And then Saturday is when she sent an email to all of the parents, to the girls in the Girl Scout troop, saying that I was no longer going to be the assistant leader.
Let me see.
I had not resigned.
Just want to see what she says in it.
I have mine also if you want to compare the two.
This is not defamation. She says, as some of you know, I am needing an assistant to help me with the troop. Kenny no longer will be the assistant, so I need help ASAP. She doesn't say anything else about you.
I was forced out of the group by her when I had sent.
I don't care.
I talked to the.
That's not defamation. Show me something that indicates that she defamed you in some way, madam.
Okay, because of that email, I found out about that email, and I had called corporate Girl Scouts, and then they came in, and at that point she had said, well...
Don't tell me what she said.
She said it to...
Yeah, they owe you $1,500. Now I'm going to entertain, in 30 seconds or less, your counterclaim.
She kept calling counsel over and over again. They were just
Don't tell me
irritated.
what they were just...
And she told them that I...
You can't tell me what she told them. That's hearsay.
I have the letter from the council.
I don't
she
care
told
if
them
you
that
have
I
a
stole
letter.
money.
Just a second. I don't care if you have a letter from counsel. I don't read letters from counsel. Letters from counsel are hearsay. You have anything that she wrote?
Oh, I have the letter that she sent
to
all the girls. Well, she sent it to counsel to send it to the girls, and saying that I told them stuff, which I didn't. And then the letter from counsel says that she had me investigated
Just
for
a
stealing
second.
money.
I don't care. That's hearsay. Do you understand?
That she had me investigated for stealing money?
That's
And
hearsay. This is not defamation. She's saying that I understand that Tanya Cavan has communicated with you by email or in person about a week and a half ago that I had quit the troop. That's not what she said at all in her email to the troop that you gave me. She just said I will be needing a new assistant and Kerry will no longer be. She didn't say you quit. Show me where it says you quit.
I have the resignation letter.
I don't have it.
I didn't ask you anything.
Do you still have that email?
You have that?
You still have it? Kenny will no longer be the
That's
assistant
what it
leader.
says. She will no longer be. She doesn't say you quit. And it's all a matter of semantics anyway. It's nonsense, ladies. You owe her $1,500 for the dirt bikes that you have. Your counterclaim's dismissed. That's all.
Parties are excused. You may step out.
26-year-old Ebony Dean is suing the mother of her late husband's son, Taishra White, for the cost of her stepson's orthodontist bills.
Miss Dean, you were married to the defendant's former boyfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
And your husband passed away recently. They had a child together.
Yes, ma'am.
The child was primarily living with you and your husband at the time of his death. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
And at the time he was about 13?
Yes, ma'am.
How old is he now?
13.
13. This is your lawsuit. While he was living with you and your husband, you got braces for him
Yes, ma'am.
because he needed them.
Yes, ma'am.
And you took out a loan
Yes, ma'am.
in order to do that. Your husband is no longer here. You want his mother to take over the responsibility of the rest of the loan.
Yes, ma'am.
And to that, his mother says she is not responsible for the loan because she never signed the loan papers.
Correct.
Okay. Can I see any paperwork that you have from the dentist?
Yes. This is the recommendation to get the minor braces due to he had a...
Just a second. Let me read. I can read it. So this was the referral that was done in May 21st, 2007.
Yes, ma'am.
And at that time, was he in fact living with you, or was
Yes,
he
full
was
custody.
living with you and your husband?
Yes.
Okay. How much was the total bill?
The total bill was $3,000 some odd dollars.
Your Honor?
Yes.
If I could say something, please?
Yes.
About the recommendation and the dentist bills and all the records, I have never seen any of that.
Doesn't make any difference.
And about the...
You paid. I read your answer. You paid, according to you, what you thought you could pay, which was $800.
To keep the peace,
Just
Your
a
Honor.
second. I don't care whether it was to keep the peace or not. It has really nothing to do with the loan, Miss White. It has nothing... Listen, I want you to listen to me very carefully. It has nothing to do with the loan. It has to do with your responsibility as a parent to give your child whatever necessaries your child needs.
Your Honor, I understand that completely.
No, you don't. I don't think you do at all.
Your Honor.
Just listen to me. Who are you?
I'm her husband.
It has nothing to do with you.
How
Judge, listen to me. Has nothing to do with you. This is not your child.
Yes, it is.
Has nothing. No. It has nothing
He is
to
my
do.
child.
No.
He stays with me in my house.
I
since
don't
my
care whether
child.
he
I've been
stays with
raising him
you.
since he was-
Listen to me. It has nothing to do with you because you have, at this point, no financial responsibility with regard to the child's dental care.
I do too. He's in my house. I'm married
Okay,
to
listen,
her.
this is not a discussion that you and I are having. We don't have discussions. I am telling you what the law is. You have no financial responsibility for the child's braces. You don't. His mother and his father have a responsibility to ensure that the child gets whatever necessaries the child needs. Now, as far as the plaintiff is concerned, I'm telling you what the law is. This has nothing to do with her obligation under the loan. She is suing you because the child who required braces, because I must assume, and if you don't think that's true, you could sue the dentist for malpractice. The child that I must assume needed braces as a necessary, just like food, clothing, shelter, medical care, that's a necessary. Put him out, please.
I just had a question.
I don't answer your questions.
Medi-Cal pays for them. He is on medical.
You're not paying attention.
Yes.
You want to talk instead of listen. Just as your husband has no financial obligation to this child, absent a showing that the state is paying any money for the child, neither does the plaintiff. When she was his stepmother,
Okay.
she took on that responsibility because I assumed that the child's father couldn't get a loan in his name. She assumed that responsibility while she was married to your former boyfriend. She was the child's stepmother.
Okay.
She is no longer the child's stepmother. A situation that came very close to home because I understand that you don't think that she should have any visits with him.
No, that's not true.
In any event, you are responsible, Miss White, for necessaries for your child.
Yana, can I say something? I haven't
Yes,
been
now
able to
you can
say
say
anything.
something.
Okay, Malik had Medi-Cal at the time. Now, when you have Medi-Cal, there's certain points that you have to, come up to with your mouth for them to say that they can have them. Well, Medi-Cal denied him because he didn't have enough points. So
Right.
Medi-Cal said that, he didn't need them.
Let me ask you this question, ma'am. You think you're a good mother?
Yes, I'm a very good mother.
Well, then I want you to think about this. Because he didn't have bad enough teeth to qualify for free braces, do you think that means that the child didn't benefit from having braces? That requires a yes or a no.
No, but, could you let me talk a little
No,
bit?
I want you to. You think that these people put braces on your child
No,
because he didn't need them?
That's not what I'm saying, Your Honor.
Then I want you to tell me what you're saying. Do you think
Okay.
that his father and his stepmother obligated themselves financially because they paid for a substantial part of this loan
I wasn't
back?
involved
I'm
in-
speaking. Because they wanted to torture him?
No, Your Honor.
Do you think that they put on the braces because a private doctor said that your son could benefit from having braces?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes.
Your Honor,
And
please let me say something,
just-
please. I'm begging you.
Go ahead.
The thing is that I wasn't involved in the process at all. When they told me about the loan and everything, they had already did everything.
Fine.
They didn't.
It has nothing
I
to
could
do
have
with
went and
the
got a
loan.
second
Excuse me, Your Honor,
opinion.
can I Put your hand down. No.
I could have went and got a second opinion. We could have went somewhere else to try to get something that we both can afford. I have 3 other children. I wasn't involved in anything. It was all about a control issue. Oh, we're doing this. Here, you pay this. Involve me in something.
Listen
and
to
she
me
wants
carefully.
me to pay all of it.
Listen to me carefully. She wouldn't have come here if the child's father was still alive.
No, she wouldn't.
Now, just listen to me. She wouldn't have come here if your child's father was still alive. If she came here, I would have said, listen, he's a parent, just like she is. You obligated yourself to pay for this. Child's father, he pays for it. But she has no responsibility to pay for the necessaries for your child.
She's been paying half all this time.
It has nothing to do with the loan. You're not understanding me. Your head is fixed in the loan. It has nothing to do with the loan.
Okay.
I'm trying to get it through to you. You don't understand. These braces are necessaries, just like you give your child breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Okay.
And as the parent that's left, you are responsible in the law for all the necessaries of this child. All of them. She's not responsible anymore for anything with regard to this child. You are responsible for everything, having nothing to do with the loan. The only reason she had the loan is because of her husband. You are responsible for your child's medical and dental care. And there's an outstanding balance now of $1,127. That's your responsibility. And if your husband, all of it.
So she didn't assume responsibility in paying half of it?
It's not her. No, it's not her child. It's your child. It's your child.
So she can go out and get a car, and he totaled it, and here, you pay it because this is your child, without consulting me at all.
No, a car is not a necessary. Put your hand down. A car is not a necessary. If your child, however, needed an emergency appendectomy and they took the child to the hospital and there was a $20,000 medical bill and the child's father died, you would be responsible for the entire $20,000 medical bill because you are his mother and you are the only surviving parent. And whether they consulted you and you could have gotten the appendectomy cheaper or not, it doesn't make any difference. It's your responsibility. You are his mother, not hers. So it would have been his father's if he was alive, but he's gone.
Wow.
That's the law. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1127. Thank you, Your Honor.
23-year-old is suing Tiffany Johnson Cross for crashing into her car in the parking lot of their apartment complex.
Why didn't you have insurance on your car?
I didn't have insurance at the time. I didn't even know that it lapsed. I had a change of address put in, and my insurance was not mailed to the address that I was residing at. So once I spoke with them, I didn't know that the date was up.
Back, Ms. Cross. Where were you living?
I was living in Forest Park, and then I switched. I'm now in an apartment at Fairfield, but they didn't know that.
Do you have a lease where you're presently living?
Yes, I do.
When did the lease start?
It started in the end of November.
Of 2009?
Yes.
And on what date did your insurance lapse?
My insurance lapsed on 2/19/2010.
Go over there and show me where the accident happened, because each of you claimed that the other caused the accident that we're talking about, and this was in your building. Go over and show me what you were doing.
I was driving.
She was behind you.
Yes.
And she acknowledges she was behind you, because I read your answer.
Yes.
You were behind her. Go ahead.
I was driving down. I was trying to turn right into my parking spot.
Do you have assigned parking?
No.
So you go where there is an open spot?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead.
I was turning right into my parking spot when she tried to go around me to the right, and which led her to coming, hitting my passenger door and fender.
So she went around you on the right?
Yes, ma'am.
And where those lines are, I assume there were empty spaces?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you can step back. Now you go over, Miss Cross, and show me your version of what happened. You're behind her.
Yes, I was behind Miss Cawley, and she turned to the left. These spaces here were full. It was 9:30 at night. There were no spaces right here. She turned to park to the left. I proceeded to go past her because she did a complete left turn. When I proceeded to pass her, Miss Cawley, I guess she may have saw another space, and she wrapped back around to the right, and she hit me.
I'd like to see pictures of the car. I want to see pictures of your car. You hit her. She didn't hit you.
No, the damage to my car was more than that, but because of the apartment place we live in.
You hit, I'm looking at her car. You hit her car with the front of your car.
No, the damage is actually on the side. If you look at the other pictures, it's actually on the side of my vehicle, and that's on the corner. It's not in the front.
Middle of her car.
Where is
front
that? Because I didn't
of
hit
your car.
I didn't hit the middle of her car. I hit the front of her passenger side.
Perfect. That's exactly what I said.
No, I'm not saying that I hit her. What I'm saying is that's where our cars collided.
Listen, Miss Cross.
Yes?
I know exactly what happened, and you had no insurance. Did you ask her to report the accident a couple of days later so that you could have your insurance reinstated?
No, I did not.
You didn't?
And it wasn't because I didn't have insurance. At the time, I didn't know that it had lapsed until I called to talk to my insurance company, and then that's when they told me. I immediately reinstated my insurance.
Go ahead,
Miss
Miss Coley.
Car. She hit me.
Go ahead, Miss
Your Honor,
Coley. No,
have-
you hit her. That's why we're here, for me to make that decision. I can see from the pictures you hit her.
I don't see how you get that from the pictures.
Listen, you want to look at them? You can. But that's what my job is, to look at it, to look at that, to listen to the story, and to make a judgment as to whether or not you were trying to get around her because you were trying to exit and she was trying to park. I don't think you were trying to get her parking space. I don't think that
No,
you...
I don't even live over that area.
Only one attitude here, and that's mine. You weren't trying to get her parking space. You were probably trying to exit. But you hit her car because you couldn't wait an extra 2 seconds for her to pull into the spot.
No, I could have waited. She turned left with no
Listen to
signal.
me. You can't talk over me.
No, I can't.
That's what the pictures show, that you hit her car. That's what the damage to her car show, that you hit her car. That's what the damage on your car shows, that it was the front of your car that hit her car. It's exactly what she describes in here, that you went around her.
How did I go around her if she turned to the left?
Okay, can I see your estimate, please?
That's actual estimate right there.
You still living there?
No, ma'am.
When did you move?
I moved at the beginning of April.
Was your lease up?
No, ma'am.
Why did you move?
I moved because I had 2 jobs. I lost my main job because of the fact they shut down, so I moved back in with my parents.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,954. Your counterclaims dismissed.
Bodyguard Steve, you may step out.
Juanita Nuno is suing her daughter, Carolyn Torres, for a loan to bail her grandson out of jail. Juanita says she may lose her home to foreclosure.
Ms. Nuno, this is your daughter, and according to your complaint, you made your daughter a series of loans. She hasn't paid you back. Your daughter says, yes, it's true that you gave her some money. They were gifts. You do that to all your relatives, and you're singling her out for repayment of these gifts because she had a fight with your other daughter. Is that right, Ms. Torres?
Yeah, that's right.
What did I just say?
I owe her money, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. They were gifts. To me, they were gifts. I heard what you just said.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Did you have anything to drink today?
No, I don't drink.
You use any drugs today?
No, I don't.
Well, then explain to me what your problem is, Ms. Torres.
I don't have a problem.
Who is that?
My kid's father.
Do you live with him?
When I want to, I don't know, when I want him there, I guess.
Step up, sir. What's your name?
Anthony Torres.
How long have you been with Miss Torres?
About 20, 21 years, off and on.
Do you work?
Yeah.
Your wife suffer from a disability?
No.
Well, is there something wrong with her today? She seems to be out of sorts today.
Well, because I
Mr.
don't
Torres.
think she should be suing me, that's why.
Why did you agree to come here?
I don't know.
Did you discuss coming here with your wife, Mr. Torres?
Yeah.
Why did she come?
Because it's a lawsuit and she needs to come.
Juanita Nuno says her daughter, Carolyn Torres, owes for a loan for bail. Juanita says she posted her grandson's bond after he was arrested for burglary.
Now, if you've been with Mrs. Torres for 20-some-odd years, then you are the father of this young man who got himself into trouble last year?
Yes, I am.
And the first loan, according to you, Ms. Nuno, was for bail for your grandson.
Yes, it was.
What was he arrested for?
The jack broke into a school.
So he was arrested for burglary?
Yeah.
Did you call your mother and ask her for bail?
Yeah.
What did
But
you
he
say to
called
her?
her first, though. He called and I called after.
Who called?
I think my son called first, and then my niece called me, and then I called her back.
And when you called your mother, what did you say to her?
Bail him out. I don't have the money.
And what did she say to you?
She said, what happened? And I explained to her what happened. The jack broke into a school. So can you bail him out? She does everybody else, so I figured she'd do him.
Why didn't you bail him out?
Like I said, I don't have the money.
Well, how do you support yourself?
By his child support checks.
Well, you live together. Why does he send you child support checks?
Well, when I want to get, I'll call him. He doesn't really live with me.
Miss Nuno, you really expect her to pay you back?
Yes.
From what?
She applied for Social Security, and she was supposed to...
What was the nature of her disability?
She has arthritis in the spine. That's inherited. It comes down the line. All of us have it. So she applied for Social Security disability.
Yeah.
And they were going to grant it to her. All she needed to do was take a physical exam.
So you expected her to pay you back out of her disability from the government?
Well, not only from that, but from my son-in-law. And I believe him because he never lies.
Well, did he promise to pay you back?
He said he would pay me back. He would pay the bonds people, so that would be good enough.
Is that right, sir?
Yeah, that's right.
So why didn't you pay her?
I intend to, I just haven't had the chance to do it.
It's a year and a half ago, almost 2 years. When are you going to do it?
As soon as I can.
So after they didn't pay you the $1,600, 6 months later you gave her another $2,000. You want to tell me why?
Because I beat her daughter. That's why. That's exactly what happened. She lent me money to move out because I beat her daughter for stealing my child support check.
No, Judge Judy.
Yes, that's what happened.
I billed Anthony out in November.
You got $1,600, Ms. Nuno. What's the $2,000 for?
For getting me out of her house. I was staying with her for 2 months.
Why were you staying there for 2 months?
Because my stupid son, we lost our house in Redlands, so I had to go move in with her because of what he did.
How many other children did you move in with?
5.
How old are your children?
15, 14, 10, and 3. And my son, Anthony, that's 18. He's 18.
You have a 3-year-old child?
Yes, I do.
How did you, with your terrible disability, have a 3-year-old child?
I guess. I don't know how. So how else am I going to have a kid?
Judge Judy, you wouldn't believe it. You will not believe this. I had her put in a convent in Mexico. I had tried to educate her day one, and you know...
That's where she went wrong when she sent me to Mexico. She never should have ever sent me to Mexico when I was 10 years old. Never.
Do you have anything you want to say to me, sir?
He didn't say nothing.
No.
I'm not speaking to
Well,
you.
he's not going to say anything.
I'm not...
He'll still say nothing, though.
I'm not speaking to you.
Well, I'm speaking to you. I'm telling you, he won't say nothing.
Listen to me very carefully, Ms. Torres. You've already shamed yourself in front of a lot of people.
I don't care.
You have a 15-year-old, a 14-year-old, a 10-year-old who can all understand everything that's going around them. I feel very sorry for them, and I guarantee you that if you live alone with your children now, I'm putting in a call to social services to go and monitor your home if these children are in fact living with you. Are they living with her? Are the children living with her?
Yeah.
Well, somebody's going to monitor it. You're not there, is that right?
Most of the time, no.
Listen, Ms. Nuno, there is no question in my mind that having spent 10 minutes with your daughter, you had no reasonable expectation that that $2,000 was going to get repaid to you. Maybe the bail money, because you say that you had confidence in your son-in-law, and he says that he agreed to pay you back and he just hasn't gotten around to it yet. Mr. Torres, you have to find something to do with your time other than make children, sir. You have enough children. You have 5 children. And based upon what I've heard, you're not doing too well. And neither are your children. So you have to find some other way of occupying your spare time, like getting a second job, so you can support everybody, so they can all live together and not scam the government anymore. Do you understand me, Mr. Torres? This is all one huge scam you've been living with her. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $1,600. That's all. Step out.
Amanda Peters claims ex-roommate Holly Ward owes for breaking an apartment lease, stealing money from her wallet, and for damaging her car.
Ms. Peters, you and Ms. Ward were roommates. It is your claim that after a failed road trip that didn't work out as well as you expected, Ms. Ward decided to stay home.
Yes.
And she left you in the lurch with the lease. You want her to pay the rent. In addition, you say that she stole some money from you and that she at some point damaged your car. You want her to pay for that.
Yes.
Ms. Ward says she was pregnant, decided to stay home with her parents, I assume, that she denies taking any of your money, and she says that the damage to the car just didn't happen. She also says that your boyfriend moved in with you into the apartment and he wasn't paying his fair share of the rent. So, is this your boyfriend?
Yes.
How many people signed the lease to the apartment?
2, me and Holly.
Did Holly have a boyfriend living with her?
No.
Or your boyfriend was living with you?
He wasn't living there. He was,
Yeah, he is.
yes,
He lives
was.
there. He lives there. Don't tell me he wasn't living there. He lives there. Don't speak unless I speak to you. You want me to get the address that you listed, sir, when you filled out the forms for this program?
Yes.
Do you want me to get the forms that you filled out with the
Yes.
address?
I put 718.
And who lives there?
My mother.
What's your mother's phone number?
She doesn't have a phone.
Oh, everybody has a phone,
But
sir.
there's a number you could reach her at, but she
Every-
don't have a phone herself.
You get what I'm saying to you, madam?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. When did you sign this lease with the defendant?
On December 1st, 2006.
And when did you take this road trip?
In the beginning of April, like April
15th.
Where's the father of this baby that you're having?
In Ohio,
And where are you living now?
Alabama.
Who went on the road trip?
The three of us.
Whose car did you use?
Amanda's.
You got stopped and you were all arrested for drug possession, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
What happened with your case?
I got 2 years probation.
What about you?
I just got charged as a misdemeanor and got fined. She got charged with all that because she was pregnant.
I got charged
Doing
with a
drugs while
misdemeanor
she
and got
was
a
pregnant.
We all three got, well, me and Amanda got charged with possession too.
And what about you?
I did 31 days because wouldn't nobody sign for me.
No, he got 30 days because he had prior possessions.
No, I got 30 days. That is untrue, Your Honor.
Now, what is the rent?
It's $500 a month.
Stand up. Your last name?
Lucky, L-U-C-K-E-Y.
I'm not so sure.
I heard that.
Who do you work for?
I work for Ford.
What do you do for them?
We call offices.
What kind of work do you do, Miss Peters?
I'm a waitress.
Fine. Mr. Lucky,
Yes.
you may have to kick in for some rent, sir. Do you understand?
I wasn't standing there at the time.
Well, now
Yes, he was.
Now, just a second.
Right.
Just a second. Now you can stay there.
Well, she shouldn't have signed
Lucky,
my lease.
Mr. Lucky, when did you arrive from Ohio?
We arrived Tuesday.
You arrived Tuesday.
Yesterday.
Shh.
Yes.
And where are you staying?
I'm staying at the Sheraton Hotel.
And where are you staying, Miss Peters?
At the Sheraton Hotel.
In the same room?
Yes.
And when you go back to Ohio, you're going to go back and stay with your mother. Is that what you're telling me?
And yes,
I'm
after
giving you
this case
permission. You
matter.
could stay with Miss Peters.
I didn't
And now
want to
you're
stay
going to
with
pay.
her because
And now
of
you're
this
going to
issue.
pay the rent. Sit down.
No,
Who brought the marijuana into the car?
All three of us did.
That wasn't mine.
no.
All three of
Holly.
us did. All
Holly
three of us
did.
did. We all three went to jail for the possession.
It's not what I asked you. I said, who brought it into the car?
Holly.
Holly.
Lucky. I didn't. Lucky sells marijuana.
Oh, okay.
That's
No,
his
no,
job
that's-
prior
that's
to
not
2
true.
months before. He didn't have this job now.
That's a lie. She
Now,
made that up.
shh. Now, when is your baby due?
I already had him.
You already
June
had your baby.
29th, yes.
And who's taking care of your baby now?
My mother.
Baby healthy?
Mm-hmm.
You weren't stupid enough to smoke marijuana while you were pregnant,
Actually,
were
I
you?
was.
Yeah.
That's how she got 2 years.
That's,
Was drinking and a whole bunch of other stuff she
I
did
didn't
while she
drink
was
with my
pregnant.
baby. My baby was perfectly
Yes, you
healthy,
did.
born 4 weeks early, didn't need anything. 6 pounds, 8 ounces.
great. Okay. So now, Miss Peters,
Yes.
now you have your boyfriend living with you. How big is this apartment, by the way?
It's a 2-bedroom apartment.
Well, Your Honor, at first, when I first moved in with Amanda, it was in March of 2005. Lucky moved in June of 2005. We were all living in a 1-bedroom apartment. Then his cousin moved in, Lewis, with his baby mama, Shataya. We all 5 lived there. I still paid half the rent.
Just
They
a
didn't pay
second.
nothing.
No.
Just a second. How long?
And his cousin got a job at our job.
Just a second. How long did his cousin and his
They lived
baby
there.
mama live there?
They lived there from
What?
from October till December when we got our 2-bedroom and they got their 1-bedroom apartment.
What's your cousin's name?
My cousin's name is Lewis, and he was not living there.
Yes, he was, Your Honor.
Listen,
Okay,
I am
he'll
very,
be
very
back
unhappy
now.
about
Yeah.
this whole situation. All I can tell you, Miss Peters, is now you can have your boyfriend full-time. Your boyfriend of 6 years full-time. He's going to live with you and he's going to pay the rent. You get nothing from her. Next. Now, let's talk about this stolen money. You say that she stole money from you.
Yes.
You
No,
know
from
this.
her and her
Shh,
boyfriend.
I don't want to hear you.
Okay.
I'm not happy with you either. Anyone who smokes dope while they're pregnant is an idiot. Now, tell me about this alleged money.
All right. I gave my boyfriend $300 to put up for me. I was going to put my car in the shop and have some work done to it. Well, I picked him up one night. He was going to come spend the night with me. The wallet came up missing that night. while he was at the house. Yeah, I went to drop him off the next morning and the wallet wasn't there.
And?
And he said it was Holly all along. I mean, I really didn't think it was at first, but I found the wallet in her room when I was cleaning it out after she left.
Where's the wallet?
It's right here.
Let me see it.
Can I?
Shh.
Okay.
When for the first time did you tell Holly about the missing wallet?
I didn't tell her.
You didn't tell her?
No, she was in Alabama when I found it.
You didn't call her?
No.
No, I'm not saying when you found it. Listen to me. Miss Peters, when the wallet came up missing, she had to have been there. Otherwise, how could she get it? Not from Ohio to Alabama.
No,
she has
it
that
was
very
months
long
ago.
arms. Now, so when did you first discuss with her the fact that this wallet was missing?
Oh, it was around the time when we moved into our 2-bedroom apartment. So
And how
around
long did you live in the 2-bedroom apartment?
I'm still there now. So from December until now.
How long did she live there?
Until April 15th.
So the wallet came up missing in December?
Yes.
And you found it when?
When I came back, May 9th or 8th, I mean.
Yeah, do me a favor. Return that to her. Tell me about the damaged car.
She damaged my car, parallel parking it.
When?
In November, the first week of November.
November of 06?
Yes, ma'am.
Show me the bill where you had it fixed.
I haven't gotten it fixed yet. I haven't had the money. But I have an estimate from where we both took it in. She came with me when I got the estimate.
Oh, well, tell me how it happened.
Oh, she parallel. He was in the car. I wasn't in the car. She asked to borrow my car one day, and she brought it back with these scratches on the front bumper.
Let
He
me
was
see
in
the
car.
pictures of the front bumper. How did you scratch the bumper?
I didn't scratch the front of her car.
Who did?
Lucky. He was on his way to school in November, and at a red light, he hit the back of another car.
I have a picture of the truck that she hit also with the dent in the bumper
Just a
where
second.
she hit
She says it was Lucky.
That's a lie, Your Honor.
She went with me when I got the statement.
I did not go with her. I was at work when she got that statement done with Lucky.
She had borrowed Amanda's car, and I needed to go home that following morning.
He was living with us. Why would I take him
don't
home?
want you to interrupt. If you interrupt again, it's not going to be good for you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So on the way taking me home to my mother's house, she was trying to parallel park in front of another car, and she hit the back.
On the way, she was trying to parallel park?
No, when we got to my mother's house.
What park if she was just dropping you off?
Because she was parking to drop me off.
Why was she parking to drop you off? Why didn't you just come?
She was the driver.
Yeah, I don't believe it. Goodbye. You all deserve each other. That's it. Case is dismissed. Take him outside for
Julie and David Cotton are suing family friend, 18-year-old Dylan Strittmatter, for crashing a golf cart during their wedding reception. Dylan claims he is not guilty.
Who was getting married?
Julie and I.
According to your complaint, Miss Cotton, your family lives on the river.
Correct.
Is that where the wedding was?
Yes.
The defendant is the son of an old family friend, and because there was so much land and the venue was spread out, you rented 2 golf carts to sort of help people get from one place to another, especially people who might have been a little older. Those golf carts were just rented for the event. It is your claim that the defendant, without permission, drove one of those golf carts and damaged it. You're being charged by the rental company for the damage to the golf cart, and you want him to pay for it.
Correct.
Who saw Mr. Strittmatter riding the golf cart?
Tristan Hall.
How old are you, Mr. Hall?
18.
What do you know about Mr. Strittmatter and the golf cart?
Well, I was the guy in charge of taking people to and from the parking to the wedding, and we were at the reception.
At the golf cart. With the golf cart.
Right. And after the wedding, we went to the reception, and we had the 2 golf carts parked over there. And we were all sitting around eating, and I saw them take off in the golf cart, and we just went out. I went out there after them to see what.
Saw who taking off?
Dylan and Greg.
That's Dylan would be you?
Yes.
And who's Greg?
I am Greg.
Perfect. I love it. No, I didn't ask you to go over there yet.
Well,
I didn't ask you to go over there yet.
Okay. That is a lot.
I didn't go over. Go ahead.
Okay, so I went out there, and we were just riding. We were riding around for a little while.
Who was riding around?
Me, Dylan, and Greg.
How did you get on the golf cart?
Because I went out there. When I saw him riding around, I walked out there.
So you walked outside, and the 3 of you got on the golf cart.
Right. Well, they were on it first. I went out there. After they were already on it, I went out there.
Who drove?
They were driving. We all took turns driving.
Who drove first?
Tristan drove first, but there's also a 4th person in the party. Their son Chase was also in the golf cart, and he also drove it with us.
Is that right?
Chase was in the golf cart, yes.
So who drove first?
I guess I drove first.
Who drove second?
Chase drove second.
Who drove third?
I drove third.
All right, what happened next?
Okay, so we're driving around, and we were just driving around with the golf cart, and after a little while, I said, okay, we should probably bring this back. So we were on our way back down this road, and that's whenever he thought he could make it through these two rocks, if that's what you want to call them. They were more like boulders, and then he just ran into one of them.
Now, did you know you weren't supposed to be driving around in that golf cart at that time?
In the back of my mind, I did.
And did you know you weren't supposed to be hey, did you, look at me. Did you know you weren't supposed to be driving around in the golf cart at that time?
Yes, I knew that.
Did you know you weren't supposed to be driving around at that time? And I assume he wasn't supposed to be driving around that time.
That's correct.
So what are you suing him for?
Because he had been drinking at the wedding at my mom's, and I had told him to put it down, and I saw them take off, but mind you, I'm in the middle of my reception, and I heard them, and so did my friends, hear them screaming, come on, let's go get on the golf cart. It was just those two, and they were drunk at our wedding. They did take it. The owner of the...
Your son was there. How old is he?
13.
What'd you do to him?
Actually, both of my sons had told them, and so had Tristan, to stop, and he was driving...
They were driving around in the golf cart.
Well, a little more than driving. He was driving erratically.
Just a second. Where do you think it's all his responsibility?
Because he was told to put it back, and he didn't.
Who told him to put it back?
All of them.
They did not. They were driving around with it. They did not tell him to put it back. What are you, nuts? Listen, Miss Cotton.
Yes.
If you're telling me that you saw them get in the golf cart and drive around with it, and you didn't leave your reception to go and stop them from driving around with it...
My oldest son actually did.
He's not here. You, not your son. Your 13-year-old was in the golf cart.
Right, but my oldest son also took the keys from them.
Did you see that?
No, but they all told me, and the owner of the golf cart.
I can't tell you anything, Miss Cotton. You have a responsibility. A golf cart is an attractive nuisance. That's what it is for young people. That's why your 13-year-old got in the golf cart.
He admitted to wrecking it and told us he was sorry.
They were all involved in it. If anything, he's responsible for a quarter of it, not for the whole thing. Your son is responsible, therefore you're responsible for a quarter.
My son is 13.
He's responsible for a quarter. He's responsible for a quarter. He's not responsible for the whole damage to the golf cart. They shouldn't have been in the golf cart to begin with. And if you saw them and you're the grown-up, you should have seen to it that they weren't in the golf cart.
Can you say something?
Listen, if you knew he was drinking, what's the drinking age where you are anyway?
21.
If he got hurt and he had been drinking at your wedding, he would have owned that house on the river.
I can't control him. He's not my
child. Oh, yes, you can. You can put him out of your house.
He wasn't at our house. It was an open field. We weren't there. He went off in a different area.
Miss Cotton, it's your responsibility when you have an event to ensure that there is no underage drinking. And based upon what you tell me, you saw him drinking and drunk at your wedding. You then saw him get into a golf cart and drive away. And it was your reception, and you couldn't do anything about it because you didn't want to leave the reception. That's what you told me.
I didn't see him get in. I heard them say they were going to do it and take off, and people were...
Miss Cotton, I'm getting less and less sympathy for you. I mean, that doesn't give him any right to do that. And he's going to pay for 1/4 of the damage. But I have less and less sympathy for you. You planned a wedding, and you had a bunch of kids, including these two people, not only the defendant, who were drinking at your wedding. And that's your responsibility. You are responsible for the venue. That's what the law says. And if they had gotten into a car instead of a golf cart, and instead of going between a boulder and scratching a golf cart, which is what he did, he got into his car and he killed somebody, you know who they'd come after? You. That's what the law says.
I didn't serve him the alcohol, and he stole it.
You did serve him alcohol.
I did.
Duh.
Actually, we didn't serve him the alcohol.
You did serve him alcohol.
Well, I mean, it's in a bar area. Anybody can walk to the bar and get it.
He didn't get it from the bar. He did go and take it.
Did you get it from the bar?
Actually, there was a fountain outside the wedding reception that had wine, and there's a cup there and cups, and you could just go in and pour yourself some.
And did you not look at me and I told you to put it down?
Just a second. Is
yes,
that what you're telling me? Then what you do is when you have children and you have open alcohol, you ensure that the children who are there don't drink the alcohol.
Well,
Miss Cotton, you're going to talk to me. You, me. Maybe you're used to getting the last word. I'm trying to tell you, 16 years of education and 30 years in the judicial system, it's your responsibility to ensure no underage drinking at your venue. Do you understand?
Yeah.
How much is it going to cost to fix this golf cart?
$1,119.35.
Your responsibility is $279, young man. Do you understand?
Yes.
Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $279, only because you have to accept a certain amount of responsibility. Think that's reasonable? Sure. Good. That's all.
Krista Llewellyn is suing her stepfather, Ernest Flowers, for money loaned and the cost of a computer. Ernest says that Krista breached their contract.
Miss Llewellyn, this is your stepfather.
Yes, ma'am.
It is your claim that you made a couple of loans to your stepfather.
Correct.
One of them was to purchase a computer that he was supposed to pay off within a year.
Correct.
According to you. And the second loan was for what?
For a $600 post-dated check that he had, and he got into an accident, and they fell kind of behind on their bills, so he asked me to borrow the money, and I said sure, as long as he paid me back, because he had borrowed money before.
And that was $600?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much is owed on the computer?
$671.
Mr. Flowers, why in the world would you borrow money from your child?
First off, for the laptop, she had and her husband had an account with Dell, and it was purchased on that account because I could not get credit through Dell. I explained to her that I would make the payments faithfully, which I have.
Show me.
There's 3 months worth of payments. It shows that each month the payment was taken out.
When was it purchased?
It was purchased in February of 2006.
You're just showing me 3 months worth of payments.
Yes, ma'am. That's all the further back that I can go with my bank.
No, but you can get a statement from them as to how much you owe. How much was the computer?
I believe $2,000.
No.
How much was it?
A little over $1,000, like $1,029, $1,039.
Is that there?
Well, I have a printout from Dell, yeah.
Can I see it, please?
Everything.
So the computer was purchased in 2006.
Yes, ma'am.
March of 2006?
Yes.
Well, you know, you're never going to pay this thing off. What's the interest on it?
$25 every month, and I told them that.
You pay $50 a month towards the computer. Only $25 of that goes to the computer. You know what's going to happen? Mr. Flowers, the computer's going to break, and you're going to say, I'm not paying for a computer that I don't have anymore. By the way you're going, you won't be paying for this computer until 2010.
Those were the payments that were set up with her when it was purchased.
Is that right?
Those were the payments set up with me, but they told me within a year they would have it paid off, and I also have a statement from my husband because he talked to him also and said that it would be paid off in a year because we purchased a computer and paid it off within a year.
Did you tell her you'd have it paid off within a year?
No, ma'am, I didn't.
Well, I accept this because it's a notarized statement for someone in the military and your husband is in Iraq.
Right.
He says that it was supposed to be paid off within a year.
I was in a car accident on June the 13th and planned on, when I got my settlement, of clearing that bill.
And?
And I have not received a settlement yet, so...
Well, when do you intend to get that, sir?
I have no idea. It is in the lawyer's hands right now.
Fine. As soon as you get it, you have to pay off the $671.
Yes, ma'am.
But he has been paying, according to this, he has been paying it every month. So next time, don't let anybody use your credit.
Right.
I can't do anything about the computer. Now tell me about this other check, sir, for $600.
When Krista and her husband first came back from Germany and Krista moved in with my wife and I, a couple days after they moved in, I'm not sure exactly when the date was. I know the date they moved in was June the 15th.
And she pays you rent.
She was paying $200 every 2 weeks.
So she was paying you $400 a month rent.
Yes, ma'am.
Which covered what?
As far as the rent on the house that I rent, it's $725, so...
So she was paying more than half of the rent that you were paying?
Yes, and she was not asked any money for the electricity, power,
So
or
who
gas.
cares? So who cares?
And she wasn't
Who cares?
asked any money to help with the food.
That's
or
not
anything.
true. I was asked for money for the utilities, and I have proof, and I also have a witness that she couldn't pay her utilities the first month that I moved in. So when I moved in on June 15th, I gave her $400.
Did she give you money for utilities when she first moved in?
Gave him $400.
She gave me nothing, ma'am.
You gave it to who?
I gave it to him and my mother.
What about food?
I bought my own food. I have an 11-monthly baby food, and I have an 11-year-old, and I purchased my own food.
So she's paying you sufficient rent to live with you? Nice that she was paying you rent at all. My children, when they come home, never pay rent. Most don't. So I still don't understand the $600 loan.
Before he left, he and I were out in the garage, and he handed me $600 and said that he wanted me to take care of the payday loan that I had.
Your Honor.
Shh. Go ahead.
I explained to him at the time that I did not have the money to pay him back for that, and he said that was not a problem, that they had gotten extra money out of their taxes, and he wanted to help us out because we were helping out by having Krista live there while he was over in Iraq.
Sounded like she was helping you out. Sounds to me, Mr. Flowers, as if you were in certain financial distress, because if you took out a payday loan, it means you didn't have money to cover your own bills. Otherwise, people don't take out a payday loan. And she was paying more than half of the rent on your house. So I don't know who was helping whom. Certainly, I didn't see you doing anything for her. Her mother helped out with the baby, not you. I don't see what she got out of living with you.
As far as I'm concerned, I was at work. I worked 9-10 hours a day.
You don't make enough money, sir, and your expenses exceeded what you earn. She was helping you out.
And at the time out in the garage, when her husband gave me the money,
it's not what he says
that
here.
was a gift.
It's not what he says. It's not what he says in his notarized statement, sir.
Your Honor.
I can't help that.
It's not what he says in his notarized statement. In any event, you should have been able to take care of yourself. You're a grown man. You don't take money from your children. You owe her the $600. What else?
$180.42 for a gun that he had in pawn.
Well, tell me, that's curious. I want you to tell me when you got it out of the pawn shop for him.
I got it out on September 6th of '07. I went in with my sister because she was paying a pawn, and I saw his gun in the case actually for sale. So my mother's not such a nice woman. She just pawns his stuff for money and doesn't tell him sometimes. And I like Ernest. I think he's a really nice guy. And I mean, without her, he's a really nice guy. So I called him and I said, Ernest, did you know that you are going to lose your gun, that it's for sale? And he said, I didn't know that. And I said, the guy said that you could get it for $180.
Did she call you from the pawn shop?
She called me from the pawn shop, but she stated that the reason why she was calling was because the gentleman at the pawn shop had gotten strict instructions from me when I dropped it off there that he was not to release it to anybody but me.
He admits to owing me for the gun, though.
No. Because
yes, he does.
I didn't ask you to go pick the gun
I have
up.
a statement that he sent to small claims court saying that he owed me for the gun and for the dog.
Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Good.
He admits to owing me for the gun.
Shh. It says, do you agree that you owe the plaintiff money? Yes. If yes, how much do you agree that you owe? $344. I want you to look at this, sir. Did you remember you filled this out?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
But it says that you owe her then for the vet bill and the $180 for the gun.
Because she had asked me afterwards to be paid back, and because of the fact that she was nice enough to do that, I was going to pay her back to be nice.
Good. Now,
but then,
perfect.
Then she
so you
files
pay
this
it back to be nice. Good. So far you owe $780. Anything else?
Yes, I would like the return of my rent because I paid them rent on the 1st of October, and on the 3rd they threw me out. They had my stuff packed. They gave me 5 minutes to get my stuff. They kept some of my stuff. They broke some of my stuff.
Why did they throw you out?
Because my mother's got split personalities and she's just crazy. She's not
Why
the
did you
same
throw her
person
out?
from day to day.
The specific reasons I don't know. All I know is I got a phone call from my wife stating that Krista's attitude was to the point to where she wasn't willing to deal with it anymore.
Fine, so
and
you owe her rent.
No, ma'am, because of the fact that the extra utilities that were used.
Forget the extra utilities. It's ridiculous, Mr. Flowers. She paid you the rent the 1st of the month, and you threw her out the 3rd of the month. You owe her rent.
We did not throw her out. She was given the opportunity to either stay or drop her attitude.
No.
She chose to leave.
You can't have a tenant, and you have to make up your mind whether you treat somebody as a tenant or your child. If you treat her as rent from her, if you treat her as a tenant, and you tell her, well, I don't like your attitude, either you have to drop your attitude or you have to move out. That's throwing her out. Can't have it both ways. She has her $200 rent back. That's $980. Anything else?
No.
Good. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount of $980. Thank you. That's all.
19-year-old Gabriel Chavarria says ex-girlfriend Erica Kallick owes for burning his clothes and punching him. Erica is countersuing, claiming Gabriel gave her a black eye.
Mr. Chavarria, the defendant is your former girlfriend, according to your complaint, after an argument at your sister's house. Is this your sister?
That is correct.
Ms. Kallick assaulted you, and later she burned some clothes that you had been laundering at her house. Ms. Kallick says she didn't burn your clothes, she doesn't know what you're talking about, but that you assaulted her during this altercation, and she is counterclaiming. Now, when did this altercation take place at your sister's house?
On October 7, 2005.
Tell me about it.
I was in the process of moving my clothing from my friend's house to my mom's house. So I asked Erica if I can do my laundry at her mom's house, and she said yeah.
Why didn't you do the laundry at your mother's house?
Because she doesn't have a washer and dryer.
Do you have a key to that house?
No.
How did you get in?
Her brother was there.
Who was this?
That's her brother.
Did you let him into the house?
No, he wasn't there. Like, I don't remember him letting him in.
Don't speak. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and I did my laundry, and there's some things that I dry, and then there's other things that I hang up. So I hung up all my clothing in her closet.
You hung up wet clothes in her closet?
I hung up my jeans, some of my work shirts, a couple sweaters, and that's about it.
Go ahead.
So I went and picked her up at about 12:30.
Where did you pick her up from?
From school.
Where do you go to school?
At Spokane Community College.
What are you studying?
I'm going for administrative systems.
What time did he pick you up at school?
12:30.
And where did you go?
We went back to my house.
When you got back to your house, was his laundry dry or wet?
When he left them from his friend's house, they were still in his trunk. He never did laundry at my house. He was going to, but we ended up going to go look for apartments to live in.
How do you know they were in his trunk?
Because he had brought them from his friend Mike's house.
What I'm asking you, Miss Calick, is how do you know his clothes were in his trunk?
Okay, I don't know. I'm assuming that they were.
Fine. What did you go to your house for?
Because we went and got a paper, and we sat there at my house and like circled apartments and called and made appointments to go look at the apartments.
Where was your brother?
He was in his room.
Did you see him there?
Yes.
Did you go into his room?
Yes.
He didn't come out to you. You went into his room.
Well, not at this time. He was...
I'm just asking you a question.
No, I went into his room.
That's what I asked you. Next.
When we were looking for apartments, we went to one place and we didn't really like it, so we decided to go to my sister's house, Clarissa. Me and Clarissa's ex-boyfriend went to the store, and when I came back, my friend Mike said Erica's in the room talking to her ex-boyfriend. So I went to listen on the phone to see if it was true, and she was on the phone
talking. Just a second. What do you mean you went to listen in on the phone?
I went into my sister's room to
And you picked up the extension?
Yeah.
That's pretty gross.
Okay. Then I went into the room and asked Erica why she was calling her ex-boyfriend, and then she said, "Why do you care?" And I was like, "Because I'm your boyfriend." I was like, "Would you want me to be calling my ex-girlfriend at one of your brother or sister's house and then be trying to hide it from my sisters like you're doing, like you're gonna go cheat on me or something?" Then she got up and she's like, "Oh, you're always so jealous," and she started cussing me out and screaming at me. Then I took the phone from her, and then that's
How
when
did you get the phone from her?
Because I told her to leave.
Well, so far all I'm hearing is, and I said to her, how would you think you would feel if it were me talking to an ex-girlfriend at your brother's house? And I took the phone from her. Tell me how you took the phone from her, sir. The phone is in her hand, yes.
And then I grabbed the phone from her.
Okay, well, now we get to the grab part. Her hand, and what happened when you grabbed the phone from her hand?
I told her to leave my sister's house.
You grabbed the phone from her hand. Did she pull back?
No.
She just gave you the phone?
She didn't give it to me. She tried to keep it in her hand.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. Pay careful attention. Life has a certain rhythm to it. There are certain natural things that happen.
Yeah.
And when you get to be my age, things become more natural. You know, if it doesn't make sense, it usually doesn't happen. So that she's talking to the ex-boyfriend on the phone. You go to grab the phone out of her hand. She pulls back. You pull back. So now you're in a struggle for the phone, right?
Correct.
And then what happened, sir?
So I had the phone in my hand.
How did you do that?
I took the phone from her hand.
You overpowered her.
That is correct.
And?
And then that's when she hit me in my temple and once in my nose. And then I pushed her. And during the whole thing, that's when my sister walked in and was trying to pull us away from each other. And so I was walking outside, and that's when Erica pulled me back in and was hitting me all over in my neck, in my chest, in my back. And then I hit her in the eye because it was for self-defense. I didn't know what else to do. I couldn't get away from her.
So the police came, and what happened when the police came?
Okay, before the police came, I was outside smoking a cigarette, and then Mercedes, Erica's daughter, came outside and asked me if I can give them a ride home. I said, yeah, and that's when Erica came barging outside and slammed the door open, and this door hit Mercedes in the face and gave her a bloody nose. And I was like, Erica, what are you doing? And then she said, look at my eye. And then I was like, look at my face, Erica, look at what you did. If you didn't hit me first, I wouldn't have to defend myself.
What injuries did you have on your face?
I had cuts and bruises above my eye, under my eye. I had a couple lumps on my head. And
when the police came, did they arrest you?
No.
Did they arrest her?
No, because she wasn't there. She left before the police came.
Did you file my part of the story? Because this...
I'm going to get to you.
Okay. Well, no.
I'm going to get to you.
Okay.
Does anybody have a copy of the police report?
No.
No.
According to the plaintiff, you had a prior incident involving domestic violence with him. Is that true?
Correct.
When was that?
June 2nd, 2005.
Were you taken into custody on that day?
Yes, I was.
How did you assault him?
I slapped him.
So that you're not a stranger to slapping him.
Oh, no. I've done it before.
What happened when he pulled the phone away from you?
He didn't even pull the phone away from me.
So tell me what happened when he came into the bedroom, which you acknowledge that he did.
Yes.
Came into the bedroom and you got into a heated argument about you're allegedly speaking to a former boyfriend.
I wasn't speaking to anybody. It was his friend Mike that was talking to my ex-boyfriend because they're friends and they were going to go out to a party or something.
So you never got on the phone to say hello?
No, never.
So when he came inside and said, what's going on? Let me hear.
He stood up and, well, I stood up because I was on the... And
what were you doing sitting on the floor?
We were all sitting on the floor.
Who's all?
Me, his friend Mike, and his other sister.
You mean the two of you weren't alone in the room at the time?
Oh, no.
Go ahead.
And I stood up because he got on the other line and he heard my ex-boyfriend talking, but I wasn't speaking to him. So he came in and said that I was trying to call him, and it's just common sense that why I wouldn't call my ex-boyfriend at his sister's house. So I stood up and he was calling me all these names and pushed me, so I pushed him back and he hit me in the room. It wasn't in the living room or where he said it was. It was in the room, and I fell back on the bed and got up and then pushed him again, and we just kind of got in a fight, but I didn't punch him or slap him or anything. And then he had a scratch right here, and that was the only thing that he had. I have pictures.
Just a second. He had a scratch from what?
Well, I'm guessing I scratched him. I don't remember.
Well, you must have scratched him because according to you, all I heard was I pushed him.
No, and then we got into a fight. But I didn't punch him or anything, like you said.
You scratched him?
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah?
I guess.
Let me ask you this question, madam. If you scratched him and he just had a little scratch over here, you think that he overreacted by punching you in the eye?
Yes, I do.
That's too bad. If you put your hands on somebody and scratch them, give them a little scratch, sometimes you get, listen to me, sometimes you get the worst of the deal. Somebody's going to get the bad part of a bargain every time there's an altercation, a physical altercation. Somebody's going to get hurt a little bit more than another person. And just because you're the woman doesn't give you the right to put your hands on another person. And if you put your hands on another person, you hurt them a little bit, and they hurt you a lot, that comes under the category of too bad.
It was in self-defense, Your Honor.
एक चिड़िया बोली चू 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 अल्लाहू 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 फिर कोयल बोली कू 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 अल्लाहू 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 आती जाए जाती जाए रस फूलों का चुनती जाए शहद की मक्खी शहद बनाए नाम मोहम्मद पढ़ती जाए सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम एक चिड़िया बोली चू 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 अल्लाहू 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 फिर कोयल बोली कू 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 अल्लाहू 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 आती जाए जाती जाए रस फूलों का चुनती जाए शहद की मक्खी शहद बनाए नाम मोहम्मद पढ़ती जाए सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम